The Vulcan is definitely not an American-constructed cruiser. However, Kawasaki appears to have nailed it by and large. While the Japanese have embraced the idea of the enormous V-twin American-style cruiser, the gathering to the different models that have come from the Far East hasn't forever been positive, in spite of the conspicuous characteristics such models have. Valid, a portion of the Japanese endeavors have been unconvincing pastiches of the genuine article, yet others have had every one of the characteristics to prevail in what is a vital market. One such bike is the Kawasaki Vulcan 1700, truly outstanding of its sort, and to this end it merits another opportunity. Kawasaki previously entered the cruiser market, with the American market immovably in its sights, back in 1984, with the 699cc Vulcan model, fueled by Kawasaki's very first V-twin motor. Throughout the long term, the Vulcan's fundamental idea and construction have remained to a great extent unaltered, in spite of the fact that there have been a sum of 10 unique dislodging motors fitted, going from 400cc to 2053cc. All have ended up being very much constructed, solid, and agreeable, with respectable execution and a huge index of frill permitting proprietors to design the bicycle as they would prefer and reason. The Vulcan 1700 series was presented in 2009, and the Explorer model was, as the name recommends, the completely dressed visiting model, complete with panniers, top box, and edge-mounted fairing. The 2023 form has a 1700C, 82 strength, 107 foot-pounds of force V-twin motor, moving along 895 pounds of weight. Indeed, it's large, yet no greater than any of its opponents, and the styling has a thrilling, delicate quality, which makes the size somewhat less scary. The body of the Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Explorer is totally traditional, including steel tubing for the two-fold down cylinder and two-fold support outline, with an enormous spine stumbling into the highest point of the motor. There's nothing unpretentious about it, and it is developed for fortitude and hang the weight punishment. Obviously, conveying this much weight, it should serious areas of strength for steadiness will be positive. The wheelbase will not empower sharp dealing with, and it won't ever be a backpath scratcher, however, at that point, assuming that is the thing you're expecting. Yet for cruising down the expressway, it is great. Typically, long means low, and the Vulcan is no special case with a seat level of 28.7 inches. Anticipate nothing progressive since it simply isn't there. The forks are a strong 45mm and the back shock is an air shock, which repays to some degree for the moderately short 3.1 crawls of movement. The front forks have 5.5 creeps of movement. The back shock has a 4-position bounce-back damping agent, so you can make it happen contingent upon the heat being conveyed or the street condition. In general, the suspension is essentially as great as on any of the American passages in this class and is just beaten by the complex suspension setup on the Honda Goldwing. Once more, Kawasaki has inescapable the impulse to furnish the Vulcan Explorer with everything except industry-standard slowing-down hardware. Twin 300mm circles front and center, clasped by 4-cylinder calipers, and a solitary 300mm plate at the back are standard charge for this class and proceed to as can be anticipated while managing this measure of mass. ABS, as Kawasaki's high-level coactive slowing down innovation, K-ACT-LL, is a welcome component. The brakes are connected, so applying either switch incites both the front and back brakes. Bicycles in this class aren't known for their light change-like gear changes, as you would find on a games bicycle. Substantial would be a more suitable term. The Vulcan Explorer includes a 6-speed gearbox, with the main 2 pinion wheels intended to be a greater amount of an overdrive setup and subsequently ideal for holding the fires up-down when on lengthy straight stretches, while the initial 4 pinion wheels give pretty sprightly speed increase, whether from a halt or moving on the choke moving. The last drive is by a low-upkeep carbon-supported belt. This is a fascinating component. Large V-twins, for example, this produce a ton of intensity, and the Kawasaki is the same, notwithstanding the motor being fluid-cooled. With the back chamber and exhaust header being right under the rider's legs, exorbitant intensity can be an issue, However, Kawasaki has fostered the Kawasaki Air, the executive's framework to battle it. The front leg safeguards coarse radiator heat down underneath the motor, while a back fan draws hot air away from the back chamber and exhaust header and guides it to the ground on the left half of the cruiser. It's shockingly powerful. The Japanese are notable for the nature of their items, and the Vulcan Explorer is the same. On the off chance that the plan is somewhat subordinate and brings the same old thing to the table, then at that point, essentially it is assembled. And in the put-togetherness, you'll not view anything as worried about, even following a couple of years. One advantage of saving similar plan for a long time is that Kawasaki had the opportunity to figure out any bugs. The basic response is, the reason wouldn't you? The main thing it needs when contrasted with the Harley or Indian choices is the name on the tank. No, it's anything but an especially cutting-edge plan in any case. With run-of-the-mill Japanese designing quality, that truly doesn't make any difference, and the motor's exhibition and refinement are verification enough of that, similar to the general solace. None of the bicycles in this class, except for the Honda Goldwing, are overblessed with electronic guile, and the Vulcan Explorer is practically identical with every one of them, highlighting ABS, worked-in speakers, and coordinated radio similarity with most of cap-mounted correspondence frameworks. The basic response is, the reason wouldn't you? The main thing it needs when contrasted with the Harley or Indian choices is the name on the tank. No, it's anything but an especially cutting-edge plan in any case with run-of-the-mill Japanese designing quality. That truly doesn't make any difference, and the motor's exhibition and refinement are verification enough of that, similar to the general solace. None of the bicycles in this class, except for the Honda Goldwing, are overblessed with electronic guile, and the Vulcan Explorer is practically identical with every one of them, highlighting ABS, worked-in speakers, and coordinated radio similarity with most of cap-mounted correspondence frameworks.